Hey YouTube, Motor Racing Network, Steve Post here, and a lot of times on our Diecast review show we bring in new diecast from Lionel, and we will continue to do that, but there are times when we end up with some stuff that we just really want to move, and so what we have on our website, planbsales.com, is a tab called Rock Bottom Deals, and here's some examples of the rock bottom deals that we have. Eric Almirola, the Janny King sponsored car, the famous Petty Blue, number 43, STP on the side, Smithfield on the back of this car. Listen to this, folks, $27.95 for this Eric Almirola car. Another Almirola machine, the Gwaltney machine, famous number 43 as well, $27.95 there, and Air Force, another one of Eric's sponsors and another one of his cars. So we've used Eric Almirola as our example here on these rock bottom deals, but we have, let's see, Austin Dillon, Carl Edwards, Clint Boyer, and yes, we even have some Danica Patrick cars on that rock bottom deal. Now, free shipping codes do not apply to these rock bottom deals, but that great price, shipping is not that much added on there. So these rock bottom deals, and what we need you to do is every day check back in with planbsales.com, because things are going to move off as they're gone, and things are going to move on as well as new items become our special rock bottom deals. So check it out on our website, planbsales.com, rock bottom deals, diecast cars, 1/24 scale diecast cars, less than $30. That's unheard of pricing, and we're moving cars here at planbsales.com, so make sure you get in on some of these rock bottom deals. Stay with us. When we return, the post show returns here to our diecast review program. We are back with our post show. We haven't done this in the last few times, but how this works is your questions right down below here on YouTube. You type them in, and we'll answer them on a future edition of the post show. So keep those questions coming in. We've had them backlogged just a little bit because we've been all over the map chasing racing around and getting diecast cars moving, but we have a post show and we have a great list of questions here. First question is from B-Trox19. Who will have the most wins at the end of 2014? I think someone is going to go into that chase and win a couple of races, and I think it's likely to be some of the candidates that already have a couple of wins. I think it comes down to Jeff Gordon or Jimmy Johnson getting the most wins this year, and the way Jeff Gordon is performing, I think Jeff Gordon might be the driver that gets the most wins this season, and I wouldn't be surprised most wins might lead to a championship as well. So my pick is Jeff Gordon. I'm not going to Vegas with that, because with Jimmy Johnson, Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, and Joey Logano, and a bunch of others, there's some good racers. And remember a couple of years ago when Tony Stewart got hot in the chase and won 5 of the 10 races. So we get into chase time, someone could get hot and totally mess up that Jeff Gordon pick. Next one is from DR34, DG38. Well, that sounds like David Ragan 34 and David Gilliland 38. Question is, do you see those guys returning to Front Row Motorsports? And I really do. I just see that Bob Jenkins, the owner of Front Row Motorsports, is a consistent team. And consistency means the same drivers getting better and better and better each year. And while they had the headliner last year winning that race at Talladega, the teams continue to build. Bob Jenkins has not been a guy that's unplugged drivers frequently. David Gilliland, David Ragan, 2 of the best in the business. It doesn't look like there's any other opportunities for one of them to jump to one of the mega teams. So I really believe that Gilliland and Ragan are locked in with Front Row Motorsports. I don't know that officially, but I think it's a pretty good bet that they will be there. Forrest Smith writes in and says, surrounding Dale Earnhardt Jr., how do you feel Greg Ives will do in 2015 and also National Guard leaving the motorsports soon? The Greg Ives thing, I think this is the perfect pick for a tough situation. It is going to be difficult to fill Steve Letart's shoes, period. There's no debating it, no discussion. It is going to be big shoes to fill. I think the guy that can do it is Greg Ives. Greg has been in the Hendrick building for years and years and years, and the last couple of years he's been in Dale Jr.'s nationwide shop. So if anyone knows A, Dale Jr., and knows B, Hendrick Motorsports, and knows C, what he's getting into, it's Greg Ives as Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s crew chief. And I'm not, I think Greg Ives will do a really good job as his crew chief. There may be some growing pains, or they may come out of the box strong. I think he's that good of a crew chief that they could be very, very strong immediately, but it may take a little bit of time next year. The question about National Guard leaving motorsports, you know, I hate to see it. I don't want to see sponsors leave. We have had this story on the docket every year because it's a year-by-year sponsorship, and politicians in Washington, D.C. are involved. So year by year, we have this discussion. I hate that they left. I'm disappointed that they left. But we won't have to have this debate year after year after year. And I am fairly confident that Hendrick Motorsports, and I know they had a few races this year they weren't able to sell with Junior, but I'm fairly confident that Hendrick Motorsports will be able to field a competent top-flight team for Dale Earnhardt Jr. without National Guard's funding. Again, hate to see him go, but I think that it's just a matter of that time. You knew one of these years, with all the political debates and all the hand-wringing in Washington, you just knew one of these years it was going to go in the other direction. Jay Logano 20 writes in, what driver's performance this year, either good or bad, have you been most surprised with? It's a great question, and I really am surprised, I think, most of all, that Matt Kenseth hasn't won. Now, let's not say Kenseth is struggling. He's running very, very well. He's up in the top of the points, toward the top of the points, running very, very well. I think the thing that surprises me most after all those wins last year is that he hasn't been able to crack into victory lane. I say that, he could win the next 3 races. So Matt Kenseth, I would say, is my surprise because of not winning races so far. I think on the pleasant surprise side, I think you got to be really excited about what's going on at Richard Petty Motorsports. And I think A.J. Allmendinger with that win at Watkins Glen, my gosh, how big is that for that little team? Based just down the road from us here at Plan B, as a matter of fact, down in Harrisburg, North Carolina. To me, that's a pleasant surprise, although the performance this year, we have seen that coming from that team. They've been very, very good. NASCAR Gordon writes in, who's the most overlooked driver right now? Boy, I don't have an answer for that one. I really don't. I think that, maybe you look at Ryan Newman, very, very solidly up in the point standings, but he doesn't have that win that everyone is talking about. I'll tell you who's having a really good rookie year in the shadow of Kyle Larson is Austin Dillon. Larson's up there running in the top 5 and struggling. Dillon is just pounding away and pounding away. I think Austin Dillon is another guy right now that we haven't put a lot of attention on, but having a really, really good season. But boy, I'll tell you, with our attention on wins, it's no surprise that Newman and Dillon, without having wins, have not really been much on our radar screen. NRCF88, when we go to Richmond, will there be a surprise driver who wins and makes his way into the chase? You know, we talk about this a lot. Surprise drivers, who's going to be the next driver to win? The problem with that argument, in my opinion, is we have got to assume if a new driver wins, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick are not going to win. That's a big assumption. We're going to Richmond, throw in Denny Hamlin. That's a big assumption. Throw in Kyle Busch, who already has a win. That's a big assumption. I am at the stage, and a month ago I was thinking we're going to have a couple of first-time winners. We got one with A.J. Allmendinger. I'm at the stage now, the more I think about this, who of those guys that are winning races right now, are they all going to struggle one week and someone else sneak in? I'm not sure we get a new race winner at Richmond this fall. Love to see it. Love the drama. Love to see it, and maybe a guy like Clint Boyer can come up there. He's a good racer and runs well at Richmond, but I'll tell you what, those guys that are winning races, there's a reason, and they're going to be tough to dislodge from the front of the field any week. Vogel Elliott writes in, with Carl Edwards most likely going to Joe Gibbs, do you think his car number will be 99 or something totally different? Totally different. 99 is owned by Jack Roush. The numbers 20, 18, and the 11, they're owned by Joe Gibbs. I will be surprised if Jack Roush yields the number 99 and allows Joe Gibbs Racing to take that number. Now, there may be a business deal. There may be some money involved. If that's the case, then maybe Carl gets it, but I'm not sure that I see that happening, so I don't see Carl Edwards running the number 99. And finally, Ian, our buddy Ian writes in, just sending us a congratulations, up to 800 subscribers. We love each and every one of you, and we appreciate you subscribing and following along here on our YouTube channel and contributing to the post show. Remember, get those questions in right down below, and we'll answer them next time here on the post show. And remember the great Diecast deals that we have across the board at planbsales.com, including the rock bottom pricing that we have on many, many beautiful diecast cars. We love that you guys are getting involved with us here on YouTube. We have the comments below. Feel free to mention your comments here. Follow us on Twitter at Plan B Sales, and we'll keep you informed on what we have. And please get some back and forth conversation going, because we love talking racing and love talking with you race fans out there, and we appreciate the business you do give us.